Good evening, YouTube. I love Beguiled. Stanley Pacion. Don't get me wrong. If I appear distracted, look, knocked out by the light, you make a very strong appearance. A singularity in whose inexplicable center my mind spins. I remember once years ago when I landed in New York after living a year and a half in Europe, how the neon of America, it appeared so awesomely garish and bright. Yet when I close my eyes and picture it, all seems pale before the radiance of your face. That we two people would meet for morning breakfast, look out café windows at the steady rain, then under the cover of our umbrellas, walk here and there along avenues of inviting storefronts, or have an early coffee and tea, or do I have the hour wrong? Might the time better be described as brunch? Or was it an hour still later and in another place in the afternoon, say somewhere on the turnpike, or when we stopped at Crossroad to check our map? At first I thought it might be vapors, something in the air. Then I mulled the question over once again and figured it must have been an electromagnetic charge, and I wondered, had a fluke of momentary electricity overwhelmed us? Or perhaps it was Cupid who stole behind fixtures on the thoroughfares. I thought I had spied him crouched near a mailbox at the start of our walk on Main Street in Point Pleasant. The winged child pulled from his quiver arrows. Their heads were dipped in love potion. My thinking ran to lines of the ancient story, that once he aimed and shot them, grievously to tear into our mortal flesh. I know his wound would make for ruckus extraordinaire. I felt that expectations were suddenly turning great. This romance presses hard upon me. I find myself bound up, and affection drives me. It barks a claim beyond everyday physical experience. I am being compelled to express it. To gain your confidence, to prove my mind sound, not at a loss to reason, I couch my verse in a mood commonly called the subjunctive. Though the posing of this frame of mind has little usage in today's English, I try its grammar, or is it pretend to use it, so to temper my overwrought emotion and to quiet, soften my immodest and elevated parlance. Were not I to employ this principle of language, one might believe my love for you be shameless. The mood also provide proper relief for the all too far out attitude, the conceit, whose command overwhelms all good sense and allows me the audacity to hope that I have come to possess a gift, as it were, that higher power had granted me prophetic mantle. Understand, I solely express my own wish and desire, that all I say remains contingent. The frame of mind here is still hypothetical and dependent. I do not use the imperative. I make no demand. I have no special outcome in mind. I dwell in a fortress called Zion, and come from it in the pilgrim's coat and hat. I look in the mirror and see their collar and tie, and like those passengers on board the Mayflower, I know the Lord to be my helper. I fear not. Who among your former friends has ever said it better? And were you to live a long and hearty life, as all actuaries predict, what future friend might ever phrase it near as well as I have put it. And if you ask the source of this lyric, that it arrived transcending the usual everyday manner and common syntax, I must rejoin that sentiment supreme, him, the real pilot, that when we drove in the white Ford van and crossed Jersey's North Shore highways, while the soft brown, oh, that magic dream-like, living, pale, ethereal, and somewhat golden light accented the downpours whose constant unleashed falling, more like rain the Lord had promised Noah than any explicable temporary phenomenon of weather. Wie es eigentlich gewesen. The carriage held but just us and immortality. And when we drove our first day together, though it is months now, and becomes the years, all the time which has passed, I suggest that it feels shorter than the day. That day I first surmised the engine mounts were tied to point, and that we, too, were belted on board, hurled straight ahead in solemnly with eternity. Mercy, let it be known, mercy freely bestowed, not for this the one earthly moment, but for our children's children, drawn and signed and once delivered, a grant for us and them, settled in this verse. And from where, you might ask, derives this trust, sure as word once promised Abraham? I hear the text my grandmother spoke. I see her at work when she ironed and folded, yet while she stooped to lay the laundry into the oval wicker basket at her feet, and I, the child, I watched her nod the affirmative nod, and I saw that as she smiled, a light had joined her face. Today, I repeat what she said to me. And I will bless them that bless you, and curse him that curses you, and then the line which revealed. She told me how the stanza means. I hear the words my grandmother said, that in you, I say through you, my darling, in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Stanley Pacion, by love beguiled.